It's the next morning since all that fun the last 2 days with the Koreans. We had a lot of fun. I just finished eating. I decided just to come to Bronco Billy's here in Cripple Creek for that 49-cent breakfast. It was delicious, it was good, and it was quick. So today is going to be solo once again, but who knows? You never know who you might meet on these journeys. And I'm going to head and we're going to explore Booger Hill and see what we can find, if anything. But if anything, it'll be an awesome recon. We'll recon around and see what we can see for both just like camping, exploring the future, and maybe running into like some type of Bigfoot like creature. And after that, we're going to try to find a way to, I'll probably just wash my hair in the creek, try to look a little more presentable. It'll be cold, but I want to make a good impression, because afterwards we're going to go to Kansas City in order to go to the library and go through their archives and look for any Bigfoot type related history. And it's important to, make good rapport with the librarians so that they can help me in this quest and want to help me. So I want to try to look as presentable as possible, but we'll see what happens. But for now, we're about to go fill up on gas and head to Booger Hill. Let's do this. Just finished getting gas, and fortunately I only got about 10 miles per gallon on the way up here. Granted, it's been really cold, and I have been starting the Jeep and heating up to get the hot air to heat up before I go to bed and when I wake up, which is probably hurting my gas mileage a lot, but it's still a far cry from, being in a more flat terrain, driving from Canyon City to Colorado Springs on the 115. I got 22 miles per gallon, and it's like hilly, but clearly it still doesn't make much of a dent when coming up here high in the mountains. So I'm going to continue trying to find ways to improve it, but that was disappointing. But we're going downhill to Booger Mountain we go. It's like deja vu, like we've done this already once before. But last time we had issues. This time we're good. So let's do it. Made it at least as close as I get to Booger Hill, and I'm taking this opportunity to brush my teeth. All the water was frozen this morning, so finally I'm frozen. Oh, I missed you, toothbrush. Unfortunately, I couldn't drive in as far as I'd like to. There's gates here that are preventing me from going further to motorized vehicles, so I'm going to have to hike on in, which is okay. It just means I have to work out more, which is good. However, I am kind of tired. I'm still sore from working out before I left Colorado Springs and from running around the last 2 days at the survival school. But it's not all bad. I mean, check this out. Like, look at this nice, all this like firewood I have, and then of course a pretty nice campfire setup already, and a very level area for the Jeep. So we're gonna have to hike pretty far in and down, and then it's gonna be that pretty much a struggle to come up. I may be wearing the wrong clothes. I'm wearing like layers and my snow boots, and it's gonna become a warm day, but I'm worried it's gonna be pretty snowy and much cooler down in the canyon. But we'll find out, and that'll tell us what we need to do tomorrow. But right behind me, you can see Booger Red Hill. And so I'm curious why it got its name. Obviously, if you've been following this for a while, you have an idea of why I think it might be called that, because of the North American Hominids that live in the area. And because I know people personally, as we heard in the interview, that have had seen evidence in this region. So it's more interest in the region than necessarily like the hill itself. If we have time, we'll climb it. But I think I only have about 2 days here, maybe 3 pushing it, because I still have to go out in Canyon City and do some research. But anyway, we're going to be heading down to that canyon over there. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like a really, really steep canyon. And I don't know what to expect. But the creeks are going to be beautiful at the bottom. 4 Mile Creek, and then there's Clearwater Creek, which is supposed to be really beautiful. So let's get going. Up there, straight ahead, on top of that mountain, if you go over to the right, down in that area up there, that's where Cripple Creek is. And it's interesting to see how much different between the elevation is up there versus down here, where it's a lot warmer and we have different types of formations and stuff. And we're going to go further down, which should be warmer, but since it's really like narrow canyon, I suspect there'll be a lot of snow since it gets less light. But we're going to find out. We're going to see if I came too prepared, or maybe I'm not prepared enough. There is the canyon we're going into. And I'm already heating up pretty quick, and we're going downhill in the sun. I think I'm going to regret this. But we're already this far. Worst comes to worst, I just have to take stops so I don't overheat, I don't sweat. And then tomorrow we'll come running through here after we've had a better idea of the terrain and what's out here. It's a gorgeous place. It's like an intermediary climate of vegetation and terrain between what we were further down south in Canyon City and further up north in Cripple Creek. This is kind of like the middle zone, so you get kind of a mesh between both environments here, which really is perfect for food and resources and water. So I am excited to see how the temperatures are at night here. All right, we're going in there. Let's go. Check this out. So I'm right here at the very beginning of where this deep canyon goes down, and right behind me there's this old log cabin. Wow, that's so cool. Something I should have probably said earlier is that the reason it's gated off, and we have like these gates and fence everywhere, is for the cattle. The cattle come through here a lot, so there may be an access point, and it may be a lot easier behind me to get down, but we'll find out. But check this out. So a perfect example, we're right here where we have, cedar, and then we also have the regular pine trees. But the pine trees here are much larger than they were when we were in Canyon City, and even better, we have cottonwood trees back here because of all the water that comes through here. So that just tells you like what kind of like mesh of a world that we're living in here. And what's more is this cabin. This cabin was clearly lived in a long time ago. Something I learned from an anthropologist at Colorado College is you can learn a lot by what was used to cut it, the tools. And as you can see, it almost looks like a mix between a saw, but most of it's like an axe. And you see like they're at angles. These were axed down, but there's also evidence that they were sawed as well. So that can tell us a lot about the technology at the time and how it was used. So I personally don't know enough to tell you this how old this is, because I don't know. but the fact that a lot of it's used with an axe or a hatchet, and that they didn't strip the bark off, is telling. Let's look at this. Look at that. So it's actually mud, some type of adobe of some kind they use for the caulking in between the logs. And then we have like some metals, sheets, and stuff like that in the stove. So it could be relatively new, like in the last 50 to 100 years. And it's just, they just had to do it by hand with more primitive tools. But anyway, I'm excited now to see like where this goes. Got our first exciting little tidbit of the journey, this cabin. That's cool. And now to see we have easy access going down this canyon. Let's go. Okay, I haven't walked very far. We were literally just right up there. You can still see these cottonwood trees I was talking about earlier. And look over here. It's the punch bowl, but that's because it looks like it's a beaver dam. I don't know if it's active, but it's so cool. You can see here that the water level gets a lot higher, maybe during spring, or maybe when it was more active. But there's definitely water flowing now. And so there's actually old footprints in the snow that I've been following. So someone just hopped off this and kept going, so I'm going to follow them. Maybe there is access. I mean, I hope there's access down to the creek, but we're going to find out. I am glad that I am wearing layers because it's cold here, and I'm glad I'm wearing my snow boots because of all the snow. And there's another punch bowl right down there. I don't know if there's access, like the tracks stop right there, looking over this. They may have come up this route that I'm on right now, but it's snow free, and hopefully I can get down on the other side there. But look at this canyon. This is so cool. Look at that. Honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to get past this part over here. There doesn't seem to be any access. I might be able to go down here and see if it continues further, any way to get through. But right now it's looking like I'm not going to be able to. I think I could get it down where we were earlier if there wasn't all that snow and it wasn't super slippery. Oh man. But see, just stuff like this place probably hasn't been explored that regularly just because it's hard to access and it's off the beaten path. So if worse comes to worse, I'm just going to go up, over, and down in here. But first I'm going to see if there's a way to access right below me. Wish me luck. Now I'm wishing I would have not worn the layers. I keep going back and forth. So this canyon, I ended up going up and over, and it's still challenging, as you can probably see behind me. It's still going to be an effort. I don't even know if I can get down there today because I want to get down to the creek. But anyway, if you look, you can see this canyon is definitely treacherous. Yeah. I might be able, maybe tomorrow, come in from this way and then down into here and over. But I'm going to see if I can see more of this canyon because I may just be able to get down there and then get stuck again. But look at that. That is beautiful. And the creek that we're trying to get to is down there, down the valley. So we're going to see if we can head down there. There is the cabin. You can get an idea how far we've gone. So I just ended up stripping down, taking my shirt off and my warming layers. It's just, I'm going to get a little bit of both. It's going to be areas where it's really cold and snowy on the ground, and then other areas where it's too hot, like right now. So hopefully this way I can just keep cool. Because either this or go back and like change. I'd rather stay like this since I'm this far out already, and you don't know how the weather will change how quickly. So I might be glad that I brought all these layers with me. But for now, I just kind of just going half. Bottom half's definitely warm, top half's feeling good. So let's keep pressing forward. Look at that. Look how deep it is. It looks like if I could get down there, it might be accessible by foot. We're getting closer though. Still, however, no guarantee that we're going to find a way down through this way. But not to worry. If this fails, I know an alternative route that looks promising. I ended up having to go up on the Red Booger Hill. It's interesting. It's just a lot of it's just like a big flat mesa up here. There are places where there's a little bit of hills like behind me, but for the most part, it's very, very similar in both terrain and vegetation to the area, the foothills of Colorado Springs in the Cheyenne Mountain area where I had my experience. It's very interesting, and to me, I think it's compelling that where these hominids are being spotted or found or place names is in very similar type of environments. Ones that like are, you know, multi-life levels because of elevation gain. You know, because you get the montane, you get like the plains and foothills, like all within the, you know, a few thousand feet of one another, and I think that creates like a very unique paradise per se, and protection because you can go between those elevations for protection and food. Sorry, I keep looking around and stuff. You gotta stay aware in places like this. I'm less worried about like some Bigfoot-like creature and more worried about something like a mountain lion see me as food. So I just gotta be vigilant, because if I don't look like I'm being aware of my surroundings, a predatory animal will see that as a weakness, and I could potentially be food. All right, so we finally have come to the end of this mesa. I'm gonna flip this around so you can see. I still need to get all the way down there. But look at this. Look how that, I wonder how that formed. I bet one of the sides granite and the other side has a piece of limestone or sandstone on there, so they eroded in different fashions. That's cool. All right, well, now we're gonna see how to get down. As you can tell, I think there's a cliff right there. So we'll find out. If it's anything like the other side, it's gonna be tough. But what I'd like to do is, once I get down into the creek, follow the creek all the way down to that spot over there where it veers off to the right. Follow that up a little bit, and then take this mesa all the way back to the vehicle that you see on the far side. And in between us right there, and as you can see I've gone a distance, that is where that valley, or canyon I should say, heads down. That's the one I wanted to take. And I would have been down there if it had been accessible, but it's not. Oh, look at this. You can see the creek down there. I can't wait to get there. So we still have a long ways to go. And if it starts getting too late, we'll just have to head back. Safety first. But look at this land. You have so much here. Alright, let's push forward. Some fantastic news. I decided to take this ravine down, and I was hoping maybe I'd find a Souls trail, and I didn't find anything. So I was like, well, I'm heading down it. And I was just jumping rock to rock. And then I got a little bit further down, and I found this marker. And in fact, it doesn't look too bad at all. Look at that. You can see the trail continues this way. Oh, thank you, Social Trail and someone, for making this a lot easier for me. Hopefully this leads all the way down to the bottom. Or maybe it'll lead somewhere else. Maybe something even better. Maybe some super secret, super shelter. Anyway, I just wanted to say that I found an easier path down. Hypothetically. Let's see where it goes. Look at this rock behind me. It is so cool. Look at that. It's not the granite that's further down. When we got the front range and it pushed up as an intrusion of granite, it forced the old ocean and the old layer of sediment up into the air. So right there, you'll see this everywhere, is like a piece that's maintained itself, has eroded away like all the other ones, still standing. And that's why it looks so different than the other rocks further down. And it looks different than the landscape, as you have rolling hills, and then all of a sudden you have this guy. That is so cool, the geology of this place. And lucky for us, we have more Karens. And they go down through here, which hopefully is an easier way than the way I was going to take. Oh yeah. And it is leading us down. It's getting a little cooler. I might put on some layers. But yeah, we're trying to get down there. One step closer. It's the Karens have started leading away from my objective, and they're actually going back up the hill. But I'm curious, because these were left far enough away from any route that someone would naturally take to be concealed, unless you knew to head down there to take it. So they weren't visible up at the top of the ridgeline. There's no trail or anything up there, but they were hidden. And so unless it loops around and goes down this valley behind me, I think that they have something going on up here. And maybe it is the super shelter. Anyway, let's go find out where it goes. Always mini quests there's always a bunch of mini quests to accomplish and see where they go. I'm hoping, this is just my hope, that there's some caves up there, that they have something there like a shelter. Alright, let's go. Alright, I was wrong. It went up a little bit and then it curved back down to this valley on the other side. But whoever did this this year, probably during the summertime, and they did a fantastic job. They did a lot of work. Look at this. They cleared tons of the debris and brush and stuff on along the way, and put the cairn so they could be seen. So whoever did this, thank you. You've made this a lot easier for me. So I appreciate that. I'm excited to see where it leads down here. So thank you for this this guide. It was definitely a surprise. We made it to the creek, and the trail brought us all the way down here. It stops here, so at least from what I can tell. So I'm assuming that was the objective, come down here for some beautiful fishing and relaxing and you know, gaining some independence and some freedom from the world. So whoever made that, thank you, and hopefully this doesn't reveal too much of this location. And those that do find it, hopefully they're respectful of this area. Oh, it's beautiful. Now to explore around here a little bit, and then the next challenge is going to be trying to find a way through there. Oh, the adventures continue. All right, let's explore around. Look how clear this water is. I'm surprised I haven't seen any fish. Maybe I scared them away when I came here. Oh man. But for sure, this spot right here is a perfect place to fish when the season and time is right. So the trail, the social one, even though it's not marked by cairns anymore, doesn't seem to go down the creek. It seems to go up. It's very clear. So I'm thinking whoever built that would walk up the banks here to another spot that's even better. So right now I'm trying to find out where that is, because let's face it, people are amazing beings, capable of great good and evil, and we have the drive and curiosity to explore. And I'm totally fine following those old footsteps to find cool places where people have been and what they've done. Oh man, it was worth it. I see a cabin up in the distance. We just have to find a way to cross the creek. Oh, it's an abandoned one. It's old. Wow. We just have to find a way across. I don't want to get wet. Okay, well, we have to cross this somehow. Looks like they normally go right through here when the water's lower. Maybe I'll try there. I think that's for me. Let's hope I just don't fall in. I made it across. Took a little longer than I wanted it to. I had to use a little ingenuity and build like a little rock bridge. I really don't want to get these boots wet, because they're going to take forever to dry and be freezing, and I still have a lot of exploring to do. So we made it across the creek, going the opposite way that we intended to go, but I think it's worth it because we get to go see now this cabin. Look at that. This is a bigger one. Looks like more modern construction, or tools at least. They had a saw. I assume this was like a stop house for the cattle as they went up the valley. But it's pretty big. So I don't know. Maybe someone was homesteading here. They had to come in on horse down or up the valley. I don't see how they went our route. But here's more trail. Let's see where this social trail leads. Oh man. The further we go this way, the more the further we go this way, the more defined this trail becomes. Which is good in some ways. It means like we have a good chance in an emergency situation of getting out. But the bad news is that we are in a place where people have come. Actually, this may have been very well been a road or the cattle road. Another opening. Let's see where it leads. The bears are definitely still very active. Here's one that's been went through here maybe a week ago or so. Look at that. Is that surreal or what? I tried jumping and I didn't make it. I was building this little bridge to help me on the way back. So I'm a little wet. Should have done it somewhere else. Lesson learned. Oh man, I am super wet. Luckily I'm wearing wool for the most part everywhere, so I should stay warm. Let's continue going since we pushed this far. I'm finally heading downstream now. Here we are, deep within the canyon. I got deeper than I thought I would, but I always want to go further. But it's starting to get later in the afternoon, and I probably need to start heading back. I think the biggest problem I'm having is I don't want to get my snow boots wet. And so a lot of my time is being spent looking for a way across the creek in between the canyon walls, and or building like stone bridges, trying to jump across, hop across. And that's just something like I don't want to risk getting them wet and then having those issues. It's more an inconvenience because that's going to take forever to dry. And I need these snow boots when it gets cold out around here. However, tomorrow, if it stays warm here, I'll just switch over to my Vibram 5 fingers, and those shouldn't be a problem to go through the water. It'll be cold, sure, but those will dry quickly. It will be inconvenient trudging through the snow, because if you notice, there's spots where there's no snow and there's spots where there's lots of snow. So it's kind of have to accept that. Where I am right now, you probably can't notice it. Don't notice, but like behind me is that huge canyon I tried to go down originally, that there was no way to get down. So at least I got that far. At least I made it to the creek, explored around, and now we're just gonna head back. If I have enough time, I'll go climb the top of a Booger Red Hill, and then head to the Jeep and start making dinner. It's been a long day. The trudge up is gonna suck, and not because it's steep, but because I'm gonna heat up real quick. Look at these guys. These snow boots are rated for negative 50-degree weather, so you can only imagine. And on top of that, I'm also wearing wool underlayers. But it is certainly beautiful. And tomorrow, I think I'm going to also take the other route that's going to take me to Clear Creek. I think that's going to be a lot easier. And then connect up to this one and then decide what to do from there. But this has been fun so far, and we still have to go back. Who knows what we'll find along the way there. All right, heading back. Heading uphill in the sun. So of course, overeating. So stripping down just to the pants and carrying everything else. But it's good I have it, and it's good because it's getting later and it's gonna start cooling off really quick here. So I'll probably have to put them on once I get to the top of this this canyon up here. But here we are. Here we go again. Let's get up to the top. Check this out. I'm pretty sure this is from a bighorn sheep. I don't think it's a mountain goat. It's a small one or a female. That's cool. Part of the trail now. So right behind me, a little further up, is the top of a Booger Red Hill. And there's nothing red at all about this hill. I assumed it'd be the geology, but it's not. Like it's, which makes you wonder about the where the color comes in to play as far as the place name for this place. So maybe if my hypothesis is correct on Booger being that of a Sasquatch or Bigfoot-like creature, then perhaps what it's trying to say is that the ones that were found here have a reddish color. Again, I'm just speculating, but as you can see, it's beautiful, but I don't see any evidence of how it got its color in the place name. So, over there you can see where Cripple Creek's at. It's not very far, relatively speaking. But I do think that this place got its name because these North American hominids were sighted here often enough so that its name would be given. But hopefully when we get to the library in the next couple days, we'll be able to determine the name itself, and that'll give us more information than we currently have, besides my speculation. But yeah, you guys see some red in this, let me know. Okay, it's time to head back down and get some grub, some food. I'm hungry. I'll probably put on my warming layers now since it's starting to cool off and it's getting windy. Let's go eat! This is how far away we are. I had it like on a digital zoom so you could see. Alright, I have to keep continuing. That was cool to see some wildlife. So it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. And I don't know if I'll be able to do it because it takes a lot of patience. But there's like these people on YouTube that do professionally, like they go do photography or videography of wildlife and stuff. And there's one that I watched in particular. I forgot his name, but I'll put the name somewhere over here. But you know, a lot of it just know the animal, you understand like cover and concealment and how to hide your scent and be downwind, and then you just wait. You find an area that the animals will be passing through, and you just wait. So I want to do that. I don't know if I'll be able to do it on this trip, but I want to just sit up in a place all day and wait and just see the wildlife and film it. I think that would be awesome. Who knows what I'll get? And honestly, if you want to get anything, that's what you have to do. Whether it's something like Sasquatch, a deer, or a bear, or a mountain lion, just have to be patient and wait. Some of those great shots you see on like National Geographic or BBC, some of those people waited like years, just waiting for the perfect shot and the perfect opportunity. So to get a great shot is really something to be admired, the dedication and discipline and willpower it takes. And honestly, I don't know if I have it, at least not yet. We'll see. If I can last like a day just doing nothing and waiting for like an animal to pass by, then that'll be a step, I think, in the right direction. All right, let's continue heading back to the Jeep so we can get some food. Or you can watch me eat, maybe drink some honey mead. Yeah, the addiction. Look at my hand. Honey, I need my honey mead. I'll probably drink beer instead. All right, let's go. Look at that. It is a squirrel. A big one too. Some type of ground squirrel. He's watching me. He's watching from a distance. He'd be some good eating if I was hungry and had the means to acquire him. For now, we'll just watch him in peace. All right, so I decided to explore ahead more to see where I was gonna go tomorrow. And there's just an epic, beautiful sunset. So I ran all the way back to get the camera and tripod, and I'm running all the way back over to this beautiful location. Whew. To get this shot before it's too late. Let's go. All right. So I could only get a small piece of the sunset, unfortunately. I was a little late, but hopefully the rest of this will make up. I think it turned out pretty well. So and now I forgot a flashlight, so I'm going to have to hike back in the dark in a place that may be notorious for Bigfoots. So let's go. Oh boy.